Run out. Here we go. All right. I had this thing set up last week and broadcast to the Facebook feed, and it's not going to Facebook right now. It's not going to the group. So
Oh.
I don't know what happened. So I don't know. Typical A.M.O.K fashion, something's gone sideways. But that's all right.
Is it going to YouTube?
Yes, it's going to YouTube, and it's
So
probably going
everybody who's on Facebook that can hear us, move over to YouTube.
I don't know.
Now.
Well, we have those two pages, and I think it's going to the one page, but not the other page, and that's kind of confusing. So, way to go, Adrian. No problem. Yes, it's going to. Yeah, it's going to the other page. But that's all right, because on this page here you can actually communicate. So anyhow, hi.
Welcome, world.
Whoa.
Welcome to billions of fans who were here 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's all right. We got it. I need this. And I'm going to put it on the other page before I really get started. And
hey, what did that EVP just say?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not supposed to do that tonight. Sorry.
For those of you that did not understand that, Ken was listening to some of the EVPs I'm going to play later, and he was nowhere near close. He wasn't even close.
One.
Well, yeah, you said Christy.
Only one.
Christy. So, watch online here. Sorry, I'm almost here. Almost there. And that's what I get for post.
Hey, welcome, Jess. How you doing?
Or is it faux Pam?
It's still Pam. Oh. I like that. I like the eyeball things there. There you go. Hi, Pam too.
All right, now I can get up. I'm going to put this off to the side. I had a feeling that was going to be the problem without actually doing a test thing. It said it lost connection with Facebook. I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. So I tried to get it to connect again. It didn't want to connect. I'm like, okay, maybe it's the other one. So I did that and went to the other page. But the other page is better because if people comment on that, we can actually comment back from here. But whatever, we'll figure it out. One of these days, we'll have a show that makes sense. Anyhow,
we're getting closer.
We're still Shauna free, and Shauna's got some work issues. It's looking like this is going to be her shift for the duration. It's more than just training. So we're gonna have to do something for the future. Don't know if that means changing nights or changing times or what. So we haven't had a chance to discuss it after Pam gets back. Sorry, Jess, you're not Pam. But one way or another, we'll get it figured out because I like the group the way it is. So I don't want to change anybody if I don't have to. So, and I don't really want to change the time. 7 o'clock just seems fine for me. I like it because then I have a chance to come home and chill out and then do the show and then go chill out and instead of go straight to bed. I don't like that. So I don't know. What do you think, Jess?
Not my show.
You're pseudo Pam. You're faux Pam.
Not my circus. Not my monkeys.
If we can get Shaw to move to the Eastern time zone, maybe she could join us more often.
That would be a good choice. I think she should.
We'll just get.
But then that wouldn't work because then she wouldn't be the O in A.M.O.K. So
we'll just move Oklahoma over past Indiana. We'll swap Ohio and
go to Ohio. I've investigated Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You did the
bell.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. No, I wasn't even talking. I was going to talk about the penitentiary there. So yeah.
And Madison Seminary and
no, never did that.
And Ohio State Reformatory.
OSR is what I was talking about. Have you been there, Jess?
I have not ever been to Ohio, unfortunately.
Well, it's kind of a cool place. They're kind of weird, but that's what foreigners are like. Most foreigners.
Foreigners?
Well, outside of the A.M.O.K region, they're all foreigners.
Foreigners.
Yeah.
Foreigners.
But that's okay. Well, tonight we're talking about Oklahoma. This is Shauna Knight, but like we said, she's not here. I had a guest that I wanted to have on here because they were coming to a Paracon in Oklahoma, in McAlester in July, and was just having some kind of communication issues back and forth. So I said, okay, well, not a problem. We're going to be talking about McAlester anyway. So if you know me, if you've been to any of my presentations, I have like a scary one, and then I have one that's more of a how I got started. And how I got started in all this happened to be uh, in McAlester back in 1999. I was a 100% non-believer in the paranormal. I did not like anything that had to do with it. I mean, I like a ghost movie. I love the scary stuff. But beyond that, because all that's make believe, that's what I thought it was. And people who said they had seen a ghost or talked about ghosts, I just thought it was the funniest thing because there was no such thing. And that that changed over the years, obviously, but we lived in a house. And I'm going to show a picture of the house right here. We lived in a house, taking years after we lived there, but and I'll explain that here a little later. But we lived in this house, and we're in this house. The kids were talking about stuff going on. Tina was talking about stuff going on. And I just wouldn't have anything to do with it. I just could not even come close to accepting the fact that there was stuff happening. I heard stuff going on, but old houses make noises. You all know that. So I was just like, okay, no problem. My family is crazy, and but my wife is like this. She's very sharp, and for her to go down this what I thought was imaginary way of thinking just threw me a curve because I'm like, come on, you're an adult, you're smarter than that. And then you throw in the Christian side of it because I fully believed at that point when you died you went up or down. That's all there was to it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no in betweens. And so as a non-believer in ghosts is one thing, but then throwing the Christian stuff in there just really just compounded it. So that I couldn't even come close to even listening to the stories. And then one night we're up there having typical husband-wife drama. We get into an argument. I was on call, and as the argument was going on, I had to go to work because they called me in. And as Tina was sitting at home, she was in this area that we call like the ballroom, and it'll make sense here later. But she's in there, and as she's playing solitaire on the computer, she feels a hand just like caress her back, just touch her back. So her back got cold, but she felt a pressure there. And she straightened up and she said, I don't mind that you're here. I just don't want to see you. Amazing story. Well, I come home and she tells me the story. She tells me what happened. She's really just passionate about it. And I'm like, really? So you're telling me now you're touched by a ghost? And she's like, yes, I was. And I'm like, So at that point, I would become kind of a major jerk. I thought it was funny because there's no such thing as ghosts. Now my wife, who's been talking about ghosts and been hearing stuff, now she's been touched by ghosts. She's totally gone off the deep end. And I would have a lot of fun with that because I thought that okay, so here we are with friends, and I bring up this story. I tell her, hey, tell them about your ghost story. Come on. Tell them. And not very supportive because I didn't believe any of it. Have you ever been in a situation like that where you're talking about stuff and people like just think you're total plumb crazy? I know you have been because I've looked at you several times that way.
Well, yeah, you have, and oh yeah, I used to get it all the time, especially when I first started. I mean, I would go looking for things at like hardware stores and whatever. I'd have my hat on, and it said, got ghosts or whatever, and they'd come to me and ask me questions, and then when I give them an answer, they start making fun. I'm like, really, dude, really, just go away,
go away.
Just
what about
go
you,
away.
Jazz?
All the time, especially when we first got started. We live in the Bible Belt.
Yes.
It's they're very factual. Nothing like that exists, and I would I had
because like me,
t-shirts.
I just as a Christian, you're like, okay, well, when you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell. That's not what the Bible says, but that's what a lot of people believe.
Yeah.
And
so I would either get made fun of, or they would just dismiss me, or I would get a Bible lesson.
Oh yeah.
Like
I tried to do.
I've gotten a few of those. I had an interesting one where the guy said, "Oh, you're not supposed to be doing that." I'm like, "Well, let's ask it this way." I asked this one guy, I said, "Okay, your best friend calls you one night, it's late, and there's weird stuff going on in his house, and he wants you to come over and help. Would you do it?" Hem and haw, hem and haw, hem and haw. No, I would just call him up and say, or tell him, just go say some prayers.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's a good start. I said, that's great. And then he goes, I said, may I ask it again? Your best friend calls. It's got crazy stuff going on. Would you go over and help him? Oh no, I would just, make sure that he says prayers. I'd even say prayers for him too. I thought,
oh yeah.
Oh, I said, that's a great friend. That's pretty awesome. And I said, let me just tell you one thing. You just told me twice that you would not go over there.
Yeah.
I would. That's the difference. That's the difference between you and me.
And that's kind of the thing. I'll talk about that a little later because it's kind of the reason why we started the team way back when. But I just we lived life that went on for months after she was touched. And the kids now are freaking out and they're talking about stuff and hearing sounds and we had this is an old house. I mean, you saw the picture of it, and there was a bathroom downstairs and one bathroom upstairs. All the bedrooms were upstairs, and so we had when we had to use the restroom, we'd have to go down the hall. So at night, if Tina had to go use the restroom, she'd get up and she'd feel this like intimidation. I never felt that. There's intimidation along that walkway to the bathroom. And so she would run with her little feet down the hall and get to the bathroom, close the door, like that's going to save you from a ghost. But I thought that was funny that she'd do that. She's always telling me this stuff. And I just, like I said, I could not get it. Kids are talking about it. They're hearing sound. They're hearing voices. And the whole time, I hear people too. It's people outside. It's people. It's an old house, so sounds come from all over the place. But one night we was coming, like I said, McAlester, Oklahoma, kind of a small town, and they had a theater on the other side of town. We were going to a movie, and I can't remember which movie it was, but as we was coming home, we was coming down the main street, and I'll show this here. This main street here, East Carl Albert Parkway, and as we was coming down, I don't know if you can see my mouse. I'm running it over here like everybody could see, but we're coming from the right hand side, going to the left hand side, and up to that Second Street, beyond right after we pass Second Street, coming up to the main road there. You see how wide open space that is. I'll show you an actual aerial view there. That is where we are. You see that little dark car on the right-hand side all by itself? That's about the location where we were when we had seen a creature cross the road.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm gonna show you from ground level. So you see the building on the left hand side, and you see the buildings on the right hand side. So I'm maybe a little closer than this perspective when we actually do it. When we see a creature, he's I've been saying 6 feet long, but he's more than likely 8 foot, because he's about 8 foot long, about 2 foot high or 2.5 feet high, and no tail. The front legs were exaggerated up behind its back, and like imagine wings that folded up behind it. It's moving not like a cat, but that's what I thought at first. I thought, oh my God, there's a big black panther crossing the road in front of us. I come to a stop. The amount of time it took to get from the one side of the street to the other side of the street, from getting into our vision to out our vision, is at least 8 seconds. It is a well lit area. If you look on this picture here, you can see lights all over the place. Just beyond the building, just beyond that street, is a major train tracks, and so there's a depot there and all that stuff. So everything's well lit. Main intersection of the town. So it's not like a fleeting thing that we saw. It wasn't a dark and gloomy thing. It wasn't in the rain. It wasn't in trees. It was in town, well lit road, in my headlights. We were in a full size Chevy van, so I had a good windshield in front of me. So I come to the as it comes out, as it's getting ready to go out of view, it turned its head and looked at us. And now I've been to zoos. You guys been to zoos. You've seen big cats. You've seen all the nature stories. You've seen all these things. That was not a cat. That was not anything that actually fit in the natural realm. That's nothing I had ever seen before or since, thank God. Because what I saw, I just really thought I lost my mind for a second. Here we are, stopped in the road. And Tina said, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did." So what'd you see? I said, "No, no, because there's no way what I saw was real." So I said, "What did you see?" And she explained exactly what I saw. And so where I saw something that looked like a bat that was super long, she said more like a gargoyle, but it described the same thing. Like a bat-like face that's been pushed in. The exaggerated legs, it could be wings, no tail, and it was just dark. I didn't notice anything special about eyes or anything like that. All I saw was black. But that kind of just put my world on sideways for a moment. Have you guys seen anything crypto?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have.
What'd you see?
Go ahead, Jess.
I have seen a part of something that I'm pretty sure was a Bigfoot or Bigfoot related. We have an area that we research, and it has what we consider as a Bigfoot in the area. We have not seen it face to face, but we always see it off in the tree line, and it likes to chase me. There's a road that goes right beside this tree line that we have to drive through to get to this area, and whenever we drive it, I can sense it near the car.
Yeah.
And then just on 2 occasions, it has kind of shown itself to me from behind a tree, like I catch the top part of it. It's
Well, kind of like what I was saying
"Hey."
on that. Like what I was saying. Most of the crypto things I hear they're not like the Patterson film where they can see it go. It's always like something fleeting, something fast, and it's like, what was that? Did I just see what I saw? Which is, if I would have saw something like that, I would have just deleted it. Okay. And I was thinking that Tina was going to describe, just a dog, Adrian, but no, she saw the same thing. So it didn't matter how crazy I went in the moment. My crazy wouldn't have affected her at all. So we saw the exact same thing, which is the wildest thing. What did you see, Ken?
Well, I was going to ask Jess too. I'm sorry, Pam too.
And you.
Was that the area down by the river that I
No.
went to? Is a different area? Okay.
It's a different area.
I was going to say because I was sensing some stuff in that area too.
That place does have Bigfoot activity, and
all sorts of
there's
activity.
Frogman.
What'd you say, Frogman?
A Frogman. I'm not joking. Town elder pulled it out of the river.
Wow.
It had the head of a man and the body of a toad.
Oh man.
That woman never went back there. It was basically
I wouldn't
like
go
a
back there.
deathbed confession. It was like a deathbed confession. Like she didn't tell anybody until she was almost out of here. Yeah.
Alien?
She was a very, direct, no nonsense kind of woman. She wouldn't have.
Frogman or alien?
Frogman. And there's several other cryptids there in the area, and our new one that was just recently seen here at the turn of the year, this not a deer or whatever the case may be.
I heard about that.
It's now running around in the area. So
what is it about Kansas?
It's not Kansas per se. I think it's our area. Brian Terrell of Red Dirt Cryptids has been chit-chatting with us a lot. He really studies water areas and the prevalence of stuff happening there. And apparently we're in a high water area. There's a lot of reservoirs and man-made lakes and streams and rivers. And
you'd have to have that if you're crypto, right? Because it's not like you just walk to the tap and fill up a glass.
I don't think it's so much to water them, but it is to feed them energy-wise.
Like the moving water type thing.
Moving water, bodies of water, but our area is just high traffic to many things beyond crypto.
Well, you're on one of the ley lines too. You've got ley lines going through your area, and aren't you near the is it the 37th parallel? Is that what they call it?
We're setting on the 37th.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So that's a crazy ley lines anyway.
Yeah, we are in a truly strange area, which is one of the reasons why we started our group. So
that's pretty cool. Now I've seen a couple of different cryptids. Matter of fact, I saw one down in Oklahoma last fall coming down to the border town Paracon. I saw that big black cat that I talked about not long ago up ahead, and it was going from one cornfield to the other. I'm the only car on the road on the highway 10 or whatever it was. And this thing goes running across the highway heading towards the west. And I'm like, what the hell was that? I'm like, it was bigger than a cow, but I'm like, cows don't move that fast. And it didn't have a tail, and it was kind of low to the ground. So whatever that was. I've also seen something up near Jefferson City. Matter of fact, we're going to be in Jefferson City, in September. About 30 miles from there is where a friend of mine, Steve and I saw we don't know what it was. It was some kind of a creature that ran across the 2-lane highway, and the legs were bent the opposite way than they should be. And it was running pretty top speed and just crossed the highway in about 2 steps. So that was pretty crazy. Down in Mina, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to say 100% saw Sasquatch.
That the crystal mines?
Down at the crystal mines,
yeah.
Down with Orville and was it Cheryl, I think it is?
Yes.
I went down there again about a year ago or so, and a couple of us were sitting out in the woods, And in the afternoon, we took a hike out that way. So Orville was telling us some stories about things out there. And I'm looking into the woods with my phone, just taking pictures because it was sunset and the trees were golden because the sky or the sun was setting behind us and the tops of the trees were just a beautiful golden color. So I was zooming in as far as I could and I noticed these 3 black rocks. I'm like, what the hell? 3 black pointy headed rocks in the middle of the woods. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And one of them moved. And of course, I went like this and I couldn't get back. I never could find him again. Later on, we stuck around in the woods along the path, sitting at a picnic table. I was trying to communicate with, I'm thinking that there's Sasquatch. I'm trying to communicate with him through my spirit box. That was my test. Well, they killed the one. Battery lasted, I don't even think it lasted 2 minutes and starts squealing and died. Changed it. Same thing happened about 5 minutes later. But while I'm changing the batteries, I look up and about 10 feet away, I see this 8+ foot, really black shadow standing next to one of the oak trees, huge oak tree. And I'm looking at it and all this, it just kind of moved over and hid behind the tree and it was gone.
That's wild.
So I've seen some couple of crazy things.
But once again, most of those stories, they're all just like super fast. And and that's why I say if this is a super fast thing, the skeptic in me, actually at this point I wasn't even skeptic. Like I said, I was a full-on non-believer. And this moment in front, trucking down the street, I become a believer because this did not fit in the natural realm. This did not fit in the, like I said, I watch all the wild country safari shows. I went to the San Diego Zoo several times growing up. I know there are creatures that I've not seen, but I don't think there are creatures that big that I don't know about at some point. It was just an amazing thing. And so that made me start paying attention because if that was real, then everything could possibly be. Because up until that moment in time, there were no possibilities other than what I thought there was. So I see this thing that didn't fit in the natural realm. I actually, because I'm a hardcore Bible thumping Christian at that point, full of problems, but that's the way I was. And so, like I said, I went to demon, but what is it doing and why is it showing itself? Tina's like, she saw a gargoyle, but I don't know what it was. But we went back to the house and I started paying more attention to it. And what's interesting about the house is that it's 3,500 square feet. You can tell just by looking at this picture that it's not like a super nice house. It's not fancy, but it was to us. It was fancy. Nice. It was nice. This is actually, it's pretty run down. This is several years after because we had an opportunity to go investigate this place years later. But I'm going to run through a couple of little areas. See,
go back to that.
Go back
to set. Okay, I was watching the upstairs door move back and forth. I'm kidding about that. Yeah. But it looks like there's somebody looking out the window.
That's funny. Right. That's funny you would say that. Anyhow,
see that?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
No, that's funny you would say that. Not in this picture so much, but in the last picture.
But the door might be moving. But go ahead. I'm kidding.
That's a widow's watch, which is kind of cool. But
okay.
But that's Tina, and you see.
I don't want to know where.
That is what we call the ballroom. That is in front of her is the living room area. Where she's at is what we call the ballroom. You can see off to her left. You can just barely in the picture. You can see a doorway that's leading into the kitchen. The computer was right there next to that doorway, and that's where Tina was touched. So I'll show you what happened was after jumping a little bit because After I saw this stuff, I started hitting the books because I wanted to figure out what's going on spiritually. Why am I seeing what I'm seeing, what I'm doing, what I'm doing? We've had a couple experiences in the house that I'm living in now, but I had an opportunity to send letters out to the people who own this house, which is a real estate company. It's actually dealing with the rentals, and what I did was I sent the letter to the house, to the renters, and said, hey, I started a team because due to experiences, I actually started at this house. And wanted to know if you had anything going on there. And if so, would you allow us an opportunity to investigate it? And they were like,
no.
They never contacted me. I never heard nothing. It was a couple months later, I get a call from the real estate agent. And they're saying, are you River Valley Paranormal? I said, yeah. I said, well, we've been having problems keeping people in this home. And didn't think anything of it really, but this last time people left in the middle of the night, and the only thing left in the house is this letter that you had sent. And we feel kind of creepy there too. So could you come on out and investigate it? So we did. It was great. I was really excited. I was more excited about this house than anything else because when I was, before we started the team, I say my very first investigation was in this house because that's where she was touched. This little area, this little nook here that you see just to the left of the door. What happened was, here I am. I'm sitting there in the living room watching TV, and now I'm hearing the conversation that we've all heard. I've heard the voices, and I'm like, okay, mute the TV. It's not the TV. Okay, what is this down? I'm hearing it off to my left. So I get up, and there's a big bay window. You can't see that here. I don't have a picture of that. I need to get more pictures in this presentation. But there's a big bay window. So I get up off the couch. I walk over there into the dining room. I look out the bay window, see, because I'm assuming my neighbors are home and they're talking in the front yard or something. Nobody's there. So I turn to my left to go through the kitchen, and I go through. I start to walk toward the voices, so they must be behind the house. So as I walk through that door there, and in that door there's a bathroom there, and there's a washroom right next to that. As I walk through that doorway, I realize I pass the voices on my left-hand side. I stopped, voices still going. I back up, I look into that corner, and then the conversation stops.
That's because you were eavesdropping.
I was eavesdropping. I couldn't tell what they were saying.
You're nosy. Adrian, nosy, man.
I couldn't understand, but I could tell that there was a man and a woman, and it was an important conversation. It wasn't an argument or anything like that. It didn't sound like an argument anyway to me, but it was like something. There was a serious conversation going on, and that was what I consider that my first paranormal investigation, because I actually heard something, witnessed something, and went to find out what was the cause of that. When I went, I would have swore on a stack of Bibles that it was somebody outside until I passed it, and it was inside the house. So that's
pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. It's pretty.
On that picture, last one you had up there, was that crease and that stain always on the wall?
No, that looked like they just, I don't know what they did. This, like I said, this didn't look the way it was when we lived there. So they did some, the people, renters are terrible people because they don't take care of stuff because they don't own it.
Well, but, the way it looks there, I'm imagining where the ridge is, that was maybe the man talking, and he wasn't happy with the woman, and that's her remains splattered up on the wall over there, because it kind of I'm kidding about that. He just incinerated her, and then she's no. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I think I've watched way too many spooky stories.
There's something wrong with you. Anyhow, so we go there.
Sorry, guys.
That's right. So, like I said, this happened in '99. So back in 2007, we get an opportunity to go back. So this is several years after that, and so multiple renters and the house is in poor repair. But we get the opportunity to go back, and I'm excited. So Tina and I and a couple other investigators, we go out there, and actually Tina had some experiences before we did the investigation. They're just, and I believe they're in the front yard. They were having stuff going on, but when we go and do the investigation, we're like, oh man, let's go, let's do this, and we do typical investigation. You know, it's lights out, nighttime, trying to wait for the sound to not be so loud all around, and get used to the popping of the house, and we go through, and I actually said the line that "Welcome to the house" and nothing going on, because it was like one of the most boring investigations that we've had up to this point. And we've been doing investigations at this point, well, only about a year. Tina said that it was in the front yard closest to the kitchen, so she was just a little bit off to the right of the picture right there. But yeah, it was pretty. We go there and we do the route. We do our thing. We're looking at all the. We're taking pictures and doing EVP sessions and have only one experience in there, and that is, let's see, I have that picture. I do have that picture. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Where'd it go? There it goes. Here we go. Just show you here. No. In this picture, you see that that's Chrissy and Tina. Chrissy's pointing her finger up there, because what we saw was the only thing that we visually seen the whole night was a shadow that quickly ran down the steps. Now, Charlie and Red were upstairs, and Charlie, he's a sensitive, the only one we really had on the team, but he was not really, and he'll admit it. He said he wasn't really good at it, wasn't really tuned into it. But so he started laughing. I'm like, what'd you see? He said, I saw something go downstairs. I said, what'd you see? He started laughing again. He said, you're not gonna believe me. And I'm like, oh. No, just tell me what you saw, because we saw a small shadow low to the ground come down. He said, I saw what looked like a dog running downstairs. So he saw what, I forgot what he said. It was a larger dog than what we thought, but he saw a dog. I saw it like a border collie size shadow. So that was pretty wild, running down these steps. So it was pretty cool. I love those steps. I love the house. It's actually pretty kind of cool. So you got somebody saying the house is the devil. Huh, I don't know about that. Maybe a devil lived there for a minute. but yeah, it was just that was the only thing that we really experienced. But I did something at that back then that there's a nighttime picture, and that's the one that you'd probably like to see up close and personal. We'll show that here again in a second. What I would do is I would split up guys on one team, girls on another team. Guys out of the house, let the girls go and do what I called an EVP blitz. So they're walking through, and you're taking pictures or doing EVPs, but you're not spending any real time in any one location. Try to, 5 minutes and do the whole house type thing. And then switch. And then the other group down outside where the other group goes through it. As we're going through there, this as you're looking at the picture, on the top right is the master bedroom. On the top left is the widow's watch. And I was in the top room in the master bedroom, and Charlie, the sensitive, was just what you can't see in this picture is there's a window facing the door. And so he's up there in that corner, and he looked outside, and he says he saw a woman in a chair sitting on the widow's watch looking out. And so I'm like, okay, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I'm highly skeptical. And it's funny because it said I don't know who this tricky silver 5 is, but they said white dress lady. No, the white dress lady is just underneath this in this picture. If you can see it, you wouldn't be able to see it unless it's blown up. But she is standing in front of the front door. Anyhow, so this person must know this location. But yeah, it's pretty wild. But that's all we saw. He had his sensitive things that he had seen, and then he and we saw that shadow. So for being so excited to go to this place, and we drove a little over 2 hours to get there. Really, it was not exciting of an investigation. But where are we at? Good. I'm gonna play a couple of EVPs here from that house, and I like it because keep in mind these are the ones that Ken couldn't understand. These are during the investigation. During the investigation, I have a man, and he's saying, "Here I am." So you'll hear sound, but listen for the light EVP. Right there. Here I am. Can you hear that? Except for Ken.
I heard it that time.
Did you hear? Oh, sure you did.
Because you told me what he said. I could hear it then.
Yeah. I got another one. This was actually during the...
world, the first time I heard psh, 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 psh.
Yeah. Well, as you're walking around, you hear EVP. No, we didn't hear anything, but at the time, right there, it says "pass me." So we must have been looking beyond where this gentleman was. That was not one of us investigators. As a matter of fact, you hear us in this one here. This is during the blitz, and we're walking around moving. You're going to hear the tile underneath our feet because the place is in pretty bad disrepair. As we're moving, you hear me talking, and listen closely to the whisper.
Okay, Adrian, before you do that, the last two have been really, really quiet.
They're all quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I meant they were a lot louder when we practiced before.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I need to do it this way then. La 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 la. Let me get out of here and do it the way I did it before. And I lost everybody. Where you at? There you are. Okay, let's try this. Let's do it through the screen share. Maybe that makes a huge difference. Screen share. Ta-da. And then try this. Right there. Was that louder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hear the talking and the walking, and it says, "Here I am," and then there's a couple more steps, and then you hear a sigh because it's like, "Here I am," and then we walk past it. Like, oh, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Okay, so I was right the first time I heard it. I did hear.
Yeah, you heard that one there because the "Here I Am" before that.
Yeah,
Pretty.
I didn't hear that part before. Now I did. Yeah.
And it got and then we have the female voice. What did it say? Right here. Says, "Get out." You got another one. Run down here. Out.
Mm-hmm.
One more.
Now I play that long one because I say something, and Tina goes, "I'm in," which we say just before we take a picture so we don't flash people in the eyes. And I kept it going till she says another one because it didn't say, because we say "I'm out" when we're done, but we always take 2 or 3 pictures. So she called it "I'm in," and right after she said "I'm in," you hear "out." Run down here. Out.
Yep, could hear that one.
Yeah.
So, but I like playing those because they just show that we are so much even in the afterlife, men are easier to get along with than women.
Okay, I had an EVP once. I was asking, I was at a library, and I was asking, "What's your favorite part of the library?" And the voice that came back said, "In."
In
They like to be in the library.
in the library.
Mm-hmm. I just thought that was hilarious. That was pretty. That was pretty close. What's your favorite part of the library? In.
I guess that would work. No, we had even Tina said she could barely hear it. She knows what she's listening to. So I know those are hard to hear on these things. I never mess with my EVPs. Every time I tried to mess with them and bring them out, it ruined them for me. I always hear it better natural. I guess you'd say. Some people like to do that and they add some filters onto it, and sometimes I might actually add a little change the equalizer out a little bit just so we can not be so tinny. But yeah, I just enjoyed that keeping them that way. Some people have a hard time hearing some of the ones, but headphones on, you can definitely usually hear them a lot better. So, but
sometimes what I do is the only enhancement I do is make them louder.
Yeah.
So that you can actually hear them. Or sometimes if it goes too fast, I'll slow it down and until you actually can hear them say something.
Yeah. And see, that's why I've heard a lot of teams do EVPs and they'll alter the speed or they'll put some kind of weird thing. I don't know what they do and make it kind of weird sounding. And I'm like, no, I mean, Ghost Adventures will do that too. They'll put some kind of weird kind of filter on that. I'm like, see, I don't know what that's all about because then I can't really understand it or I can't trust what I'm hearing. So,
but when I do that, if I play them like on my lectures,
yeah,
I will play the original, and I will tell them beforehand. You'll hear the original maybe twice, and then you'll hear what I did to it to slow it down so you can understand. So that it makes more sense.
Yeah,
because sometimes, and the weird thing is too, sometimes you think you know what they say at the original, but if you slow it down, it's not even close sometimes. Do you find that, Jess?
We don't deal with a lot of EVPs with our group, so
okay,
not really.
Okay.
So what do you do?
You could have just shaken your head, yeah.
No, our team doesn't get a lot. We just don't get a lot of EVPs at all. It's just not something we get, I guess. We have
You run audio though.
We do. We run audio all the time. We very rarely get an EVP. However, Pam is very auditory when she investigates, and she hears a lot that we don't pick up.
Okay.
So we kind of get it that way. We do get EVPs. The few that we have gotten have been very clear.
Yeah.
So we've never had to really sit there and manipulate.
Oh, exactly. That's what I mean. We've gotten so many that I don't present because they're hard to hear. Some of that one, like the man was like really breathy, so it's hard to hear that one. But you can hear it. Where we have some that you have to really have the noise canceling headphones on and no other sounds. Yeah, can you hear that? And although it's really exciting to us, if people are not used to hearing EVPs are like, I don't hear nothing. So I let's see. Since I'm gonna stay in Oklahoma, I'm gonna play one more, but not from the house. There's a place that you guys might have known about or heard about called the Stone Lion Inn. We had an opportunity to investigate there, and it was a cool little place. Once again, super huge, and had some. The whole time that we were there, we kept hearing like monkey sounds, and they said there was a little girl in there, and of course that's always kind of bothersome when you think of kids. But I want to play this one. Let's see. Let me play this one here. The ooh ooh ooh. I don't know if you can see that, but right there.
Yeah. Monkey sounds.
Yeah. So did you hear the ooh ooh ooh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little girl, no little children in this house. There's a bunch of cranky investigators, but there were a lot of monkeys in this house, little figurines and statues and stuff like that. And this little girl would make this little monkey sounds the whole time we were there. Got several of them there. But I want to play this one here. We announced where we're at, so we're tagging our audio, and you have we're going up. Tina and I are going upstairs because the other team is upstairs in the bedrooms, and so we get right up to the top of the stairs and get this one. You hear it?
Yeah.
She sounded tired. I think it's some people hear that and they get all sad because they're like, oh. But
I heard on that one, love you, Mom.
no, it's Mama. But yeah, no, I get it. It's but I love it. I love this.
Both of them fit, but yeah. Seriously, I mean, yeah, it was just a really sweet way she said it.
Yeah, she's very. She sounds tired, just but it's one of those that are some children ghosts really bother some people. So
I've encountered a lot of them, and there's been times, where it's like it just grabs your heart and just rips it out and throws it on the floor. That's how emotional it can get sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But anyhow, we started the team because of the stuff that happened in that house. We had an opportunity to go there, and like I tell people, they do investigations and it's just boring and nothing happened. But I only played a few of those EVPs from McAlester, and we had a lot of EVPs from there. So the whole time that we're in there, basically bored. Don't give up on investigating because you don't know what's happening all around you. Well, Jess and Ken might. I don't. I'm as sensitive as a rock.
The woo-hooers will.
The woo-woo people.
I'm sorry, the woo-wooers, not.
But no, I want something that I can actually present, that I can show, especially if you're dealing with clients. I wouldn't say, "Oh, like I've got this for you," and at this point for that house, I was the client, although the real estate agent invited us in. I wanted to find out about that place. I wanted to know what I could see and hear or experience, because I had my first ghost experience there, which actually tickles Tina, because she all the fun I had at her expense. So, but no, it's pretty good times.
What did the real estate agent? What did the real estate agent say? Did you show or?
Oh yeah, we did that. Had to. We've always done a presentation to tell to tell the client, to tell whoever what all we had experienced, and especially if they got some evidence to show that with them, give them a disc. I don't know whatever happened to that disc. I don't know. It's probably long forgotten. I was just in McAlester not too long ago, and I had to. It was bad weather, and I wanted to hurry up and get back. And I wanted to go down the street because I was only down. I was not far from where this house was, but there was a fire at some point after this investigation, and burned the area. Like I said, I'll show you. Right in between the top two windows, there's that just to the right as you're looking at the doorway, which is the left window, is that hallway that Tina was, that Tina would run down to the hallway to the bathroom. And there was a fire right there, but that's where the fuse box was, old school fuse box. Mm-hmm. So didn't burn the place down, but it damaged it pretty good. So
wow. So if we can go back to one of the earlier pictures, was there really somebody looking out that window?
At this window?
Yeah.
At the in the darker picture, when you lighten it up and blow it up, you can really see it. But on this one, it's just slightly bigger, so you can see it. But there, in that darker picture, and I'm pointing at it like you can see my finger.
Yeah, I'm pointing at it. I'm pointing at it too.
Yeah,
it's up there.
You see the in the widow's watch, just to the all right of the door. That would be the left facing us. But all right of the door, you can see what looks to be a woman sitting down, and in the door directly beneath it, there was, as somebody mentioned in the chat, Tricky Silver said, a woman in white. It's a woman standing there with her one arm reaching out, and not like towards you, but out to the side, like over there. So I don't know what they were trying to point to, but remember I told you Charlie said he saw somebody sitting on that widow's watch during that EVP blitz. So when I saw that picture, I was like, oh my God, because there's something there. And I'm showing Tina. Tina's the one who noticed the underneath. Sorry, if you see a ghost picture and it looks like a little girl in a dress, it's an app. I'm sorry, ghost pictures don't show up like you think. They look more like a stain on your picture, because if they showed, I think if we were to take a picture with the camera and you saw what's all around you, you'd see like the woo-woo people. It would just be amazing. But I don't think it happened that way. I think to catch one, you have to be in the right light at the right time and get it.
And be lucky.
And be really lucky. One of the few good paranormal pictures we took. So, but anyhow, this is our hour. I got a chance to yammer about this place. It's really cool. I hope the people who do the event, McAlester, have some good times, because where the event's going to be is not far from where we witnessed that creature. So maybe somebody will see some rock. So anyhow, next week we have Kansas, and Kansas has got a show, and I forgot what she said she was going to bring. That was like 2 weeks ago. She told me, and I forgot what I had for dinner.
No idea.
You should know, Pseudo Pam. Anyhow,
yeah, I remember she said something.
yeah,
No idea.
I'm
just a stand-in.
Just a stand-in, no problem. But she said, she told me who it was. I'm looking for it real quick, and I can't see it because we yammer on our chat too much.
Yeah, we have a ton of stuff here. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about fish tacos.
Oh yeah, I remember
about
that.
Landing in Chicago.
Yeah, that'd be on before that. But anyhow,
Yeah, I'm going back.
Just one of those things. You guys can make it. Come here and enjoy the show next week with us. And I just want to say thank you for hanging out and listening to us yammer today. And hey, be good to each other. Bye.
See you guys. Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. I was supposed to do that. I said bye, and I didn't do the exit credit.